Hey everybody, it's Rob here at etrailer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Class 3 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan. Now I know everybody wants to see what it looks like or some of the features first, but if you do stick around to the end of the video, we are going to show you how to get it installed. But here's what our hitch is going to look like once you do have it fully installed on your Tiguan. I really like the look of it. The cross tube is going to be hidden behind the bumper, so the only thing we see is that receiver tube sticking out. Now it is a Class 3, which means it's going to give us that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening and really open up the doors for accessories that we can mount. A 2" receiver tube is going to be the most popular option out there, and it is going to have the widest variety of accessories. Obviously we can tow a trailer, put a bike rack in there, a cargo carrier. There's just a lot of different options. But regardless of how exactly you're going to be using your hitch, all of the accessories are going to mount to the hitch pin hole here on the side. Now the hitch is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now this is not going to come with the hitch, but you can find them here at etrailer.com, along with some lock-in devices to make sure your accessories are secure, and anti-rattle devices to cut down on the annoying rattling sound coming from the receiver tube when we're driving down the road. Now I know a lot of people are wondering if the hitch is going to interfere or affect how your hands-free liftgate works. Now our Tiguan on here doesn't have the hands-free liftgate, so I can't show you, but you are still going to be able to use it. You're just going to have to move your foot to either side of the receiver tube, because obviously that sensor can't pick it up if you're hitting right there, but on either side we'll still be able to use it. That way we can come up with our hands full and load up the back without having to put everything down. Now if you are going to be towing a trailer, you obviously need a spot to hook up your safety chains. You need to make sure that we're safe and legal going down the road. And here we have a loop style. It's like a rolled steel stock welded to the bottom of the receiver tube. And if you got most normal size hooks, there's plenty of room to get them hooked on, take them off. Shouldn't have to worry about any kind of interference. And the same thing goes with those really large oversized hooks. Plenty of room to get them hooked on, don't have to worry about anything, taking them off. And another small thing that I really like is that our hitch pin hole is just off center from the actual safety chain loop itself, which will definitely help out when you have your pin and clip in place. It won't interfere with your hooks as much as if it was dead center with the safety chain loop. Now as far as weight rating goes, it's a pretty important thing, because you obviously are looking for a hitch, have something in mind you want to do. Maybe it is just tow a small trailer, maybe you're going to the lake and have a jet ski, or maybe you just want to go to the park with some friends and take some bikes with you. Maybe you got a long road trip you got to do and you put some gear back here on a cargo carrier. Regardless of it, you need to know that the hitch is going to be up to the task that you put it to. So our hitch is going to be rated with a 525-pound tongue weight. That's the maximum downward force at the end of the receiver tube. Now to put that in perspective, we'll be able to carry quite a few bikes with this, maybe 4, maybe even 5 bikes on a bike rack. Or we'll really be able to load up those large cargo carriers and get a lot of gear on there. Now as far as the gross trailer weight rating goes, that's how much the hitch can pull, but that does include the trailer and the load we have on it. And the hitch is going to be rated at 3,500 pounds. Now with all those numbers in mind, you do want to double check your Tiguan's owner's manual, because we don't want to exceed the manufacturer's rating. I'd like to give you a few measurements, and these are going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your new hitch, whether that's a ball mount, bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, you're right about 5.5 inches. That measurement's going to help you when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough room to put them in the upright stored position and not make contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening is right at 12 1/4 inches. Now at that height, I definitely recommend a bike rack or a cargo carrier with a raised shank. That way we get a little bit more ground clearance out of it. But that measurement also is going to help you when you're looking for a ball mount, so you can find the appropriate rise or drop and match it up to your trailer. Now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's bring it into the shop and we'll go through the installation process together. To begin our installation, we want to come to the back of our Tiguan, and we're actually going to come underneath the back bumper. Now we need to lower the exhaust so we have a little bit more room to work with, but you want to make sure that the exhaust is supported before you drop it down so we don't cause any damage. Now you can use a jack stand, putting it underneath, or in my case, I'm going to be using a strap and just hooking it to a secure spot on the frame somewhere. Just want to go across the exhaust, make sure that it is going to support it. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the strap so once I do lower it down, it won't come down too far. So now if we come back to the actual muffler itself, When we come to each end, right at the frame rail, we'll find the hanger. And we can slide these off the rubber isolator, but it'd be much easier just to unbolt it from the bottom of the frame. So we'll take a 13mm socket and pull that bolt out over here, and then move to the other side and pull the other one out. And with the exhaust down, we can loosen up the strap, and that'll give us plenty of room to get everything in place. So now if we come to the outside of the frame, over here we're on the driver's side, but it's going to be exactly the same on the passenger side. Should have 2 bolts going into the frame. We need to pull those out, so grab ourselves a 16mm socket, and loosen those up and pull them out. Now once you pull these out, you want to hold on to the hardware because we are going to reuse it. But we'll pull out the other one on this side and then move to the passenger side frame rail and pull the 2 bolts out over there. Now once you have the bolts removed, you'll notice that we have this sealant on the side of the frame rail. We need to scrape some of that excess sealant off. You can see how it kind of bulges out. We want it to be nice and flat. You don't need to take a whole lot off, but we just don't want all those clumps on there. I'm going to use a putty knife just because it is rather easy just to kind of scrape a little bit off, make sure it's clean, and we'll move to the other side and do the same thing over there. Now it is a good idea to get an extra set of hands just because of how large the hitch is. But we're going to go over our exhaust. We're going to make sure the hitch goes to the outside of the frame. And we're going to line up the holes in the hitch with the factory holes in the frame. And we're just going to reuse the factory hardware. And if you can, you want to get at least 1 bolt to hold the hitch up and support it. Then we can put the rest of the hardware in place. Now if you're having trouble getting the bolts to line up, or it seems like the threads inside the frame moved, it's because all 4 of our bolts, if we look in this large opening here, it actually holds our bumper structure or the bumper beam in place. And since everything's loosely in place now, you can see how when I move the bumper beam, the hitch moves because it's all using the same hardware. So if you do have an extra set of hands, you can ask them to gently kind of wiggle the bumper beam around to try to get those holes lined back up. But again, you at least want to get 1 in on each side so the hitch won't fall down. But with all of them in place, we'll come back with that 16mm socket and snug them all down. You want to make sure you grab a torque wrench, come back, and torque all the hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. We're going to make sure we go back and repeat that for all of our remaining hardware. Then we can lift our exhaust back up. I'm going to lift it up slightly, help use the strap to support everything, and then we can put that hardware back in place. Finally, we're going to remove the support strap from the exhaust, and that'll finish up your installation and your look at the CURT Class 3 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2020 Volkswagen Tiguan.